just me, myself, and I. Ow. Good morning. Anybody out there? My sweet boy's out. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Yo. I was reading this thing on the 5 crime families, New York crime families in the 80s. I don't know if you guys read the 10 things about me that you may not know that I posted a few weeks ago. But if you saw it, one of the ones is that I'm fascinated with organized crime. Fascinated. I will read anything about organized crime. My dream is to write a movie about an amazing movie about organized crime. My mom's like, there's something wrong with you. You should not be this turned on by it. That is why women and men got caught up in it back then, because they were so turned on by it. It's right, Brandy. Okay. We should not be turned on by them, because I think I managed to convince myself for a long time that they kept their crime classy. Crime is not classy. That's just the truth. Crime is not classy even when it's organized. But I love it. I can't help it. So how is everybody doing this morning? Good morning, good morning, good morning. And welcome to Coffee Talk. The problem is that the media has made organized crime so sexy. No, Roxy Hall, that is not what this is, honey. No, I'm just saying that the media has made organized crime so sexy that women are like, I'll be a mob wife. Believe me, you don't want to be a mob wife, because most likely your husband's gonna get killed. So, okay. So anyway, yeah, those suits, ain't that right? So, there was an article going around about a woman who wrote this article about how her husband's affair, his mistress, helped her leave a marriage she was not brave enough to leave on her own. And I remember back, you have to hear this story. I remember back to right after I graduated from college. I left Maryland and I moved back to New York City. And I was living on 3rd Street between 1st and A, which is the street my mother grew up on, by the way. Literally. My mother grew up on. I was living on 3rd Street between 1st and A. And my girlfriend called me and she said that she was, she got married young, because I was only maybe 22, 21. And she was a little bit older than me, so maybe they were 25. Anyway, she told me that she thought her husband was cheating, but she couldn't prove it. And she was so unhappy in her marriage. She got married at 20, whatever. Anyway, her parents were very Catholic, and she could not get a divorce just because she was unhappy. It just never would have worked like that. So she said to me, I need you to save me. And I was like, save you how? And she was like, I need you to go to this bar where I know my husband hangs out, and I need you to hook up with him. I was like, girl, are you crazy? She was like, Jamie, please, I need you to save me. And I was like, I don't understand why you think that would save you. And she was like, because I will have an out. I am not brave enough to do this on my own. I need an out. Now at 21 or 22, I wasn't coffee talking people. I was a train wreck. Okay? A train wreck, living in the greatest city in the world, doing all kinds of train wrecky things. And I was like, all right, so tell me exactly what you want me to do. And I was like, I'm not sleeping with your husband. That's a definite negative. First of all, I wasn't even attracted to him. Second of all, no. So she was like, all right, you don't even have to do that. You just got to get him. I need to know that he would do it, whatever. There were no cell phones back then, I don't think. Did we have cell phones back then? I don't know. I can't remember, to be honest with you, which is sad. I know we had beepers, pagers. So long story short, I get dressed up and I go to the bar, and here's the ridiculous part. He knew me. I was at his wedding. Okay? So it's not like I was like a trick girl, like just coming on in and you don't know who I am. So long story short, I go in and I'm like, oh my God, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. He's like, I can't believe you're here. Blah, blah, blah. Buys me a drink. Blah, blah, blah. Blah. Long story short, I say to him, I have to go to the bathroom. I'm super buzzed. I'm not super buzzed. He's like, all right. I'm like, it's so crowded in here. Take me. Will you hold my hand? He was like, yeah. So he's holding my hand, walking me through the crowd. And we go into the bathroom, and I say to him, come into the bathroom with me. Turn around. Hold the door. So he's like, come into the bathroom with you. I'm like, yes, come on. So he comes into the bathroom with me, turns around and faces the door. I go to the bathroom. I wash my hands. And then he turns around and goes, you good? I go, I'm good. And I look at him. I go, God, I never realized how cute you were. Were you always this cute? And he's like, I don't know. And all I could think is, ew, I'm so not attracted to you at all. Like, this is really painful for me. I was acting. Actually, I was Meryl Streep that night. So I said to him something like, we should make out, I feel like. Like, I wasn't even sexy about it, ladies. It wasn't even like a sexy come on. It was like, we should make out, I think. And he was like, really? And I was like, yeah, really. And he did it. He kissed me. And then I was like, oh, you know what? This feels super gross. And I'm really drunk. I gotta go. Anyway, I got back to my apartment. We still had phones on the wall. Okay? So this was 99, I think. We're gonna party like it's 19. So I call her, like literally phone on the wall, like I'm like sitting on the floor in my apartment like this. So she's like, what happened? I'm like, ugh. First of all, your husband's breath smells like ashtray. Second of all, I tell her the whole story. She's like, oh my God, you are the best. I'm like, you realize he's going to want to kill us. That's what she said, Jen Larson. She goes, you took one for the team. Long story short, here's what she was able to do. Hear me out, because the coffee talk part is coming. She went to her parents and she said, one of my friends ran into Rob at this bar and they ended up making out, and I can't trust him, and I don't want to have babies with somebody that I can't trust. And of course her parents were like, can you go to therapy? Can you whatever? And she was like, no, because the bottom line is, if he'll kiss my friend, he'll kiss anybody. And her parents finally were like, if this is, they were not happy about the divorce. But by the way, I just want you to know that my girlfriend is remarried and she has 3 kids with her husband, and she is so, so, so happy. I just want to tell you that it had a super happy ending. He was never right for her anyway. But her parents finally were like, okay, if this is what you want. So she ended up confronting him and was like, so I heard what happened with you and Jamie. And he was like, who, what? Like, of course, tried to completely lie. And she was like, babe, we set you up. Do you really think Jamie would be attracted to you? Like, you're not even a little bit her type at all. Anyway, long story short, we actually, oddly enough, when she got remarried, her new husband came up to me and said, if we're ever at a bar together and the bar is crowded, you're walking by yourself. And I was like, this is my kind of guy. This is my kind of guy. I love it. I say all of this to say that there are some women who obviously are truly affected by affairs, obviously are heartbroken and their lives fall apart and their families are ruined. And it is not at all what they are looking for. Yes, Amanda, we told him to his face. But there are women who live in marriages. They are so unhappy, but because of social pressure or financial restraints or children, they are not brave enough to leave their marriages. So they stay every day miserable, secretly praying that he will either A, cheat on her, B, get a DUI, something public where she can finally say, this isn't safe for me. This doesn't work for me, right? Or even, I know women who have even prayed that their husbands would put their hands on them so that they could say finally, this doesn't work for me. I now have a justification for divorce that other people will accept. There are women who are desperately waiting for a reason to leave their husbands that other people will accept because their community makes them feel like other than this, or this, you absolutely cannot get divorced. And here's what I say. When the end comes, and you are getting ready to meet your maker, you will look back on your life and realize that you spent 60 years with somebody who never poured into you, who never lifted you up, who wasn't praying for you, who wasn't rooting for you, who didn't at times put your needs and happiness before theirs. And you will realize that the opinions of others truly mean nothing. It is possible to serve God and still make the choices that are right for your life. I see so many people who are dying inside, literally rotting from the inside out. They want so badly to leave suffocating marriages, but they are so afraid of what their community will think, what their parents will say, what their church will think. And I have to tell you, I truly believe that you can get out of your marriage and still walk with God. I really believe that. To anybody who is right now watching this video with tears in their eyes because they're going, that's me, Jamie. That's me. I get up every day in a marriage where I pray he will leave. I pray he will cheat. I pray he will hit me because I need an out. I'm telling you, you don't need it. Because I know that, and Coffee Talk is not religious, but I am speaking specifically to those people who are paralyzed by this fear. I know the God we serve. I know him well. I know him intimately. He is in me. He saved me. I am telling you that I know him. And he does not want you to die a slow death. Believe me when I tell you, when he comes calling, he's coming to get you. Okay? You are not, when you are alive, you are meant to live the best way you know how. The fullest life you can live. You were created, right? I tell you all the time, to be outstanding. You were created to be outstanding. So when you allow yourself to be imprisoned by relationships or situations that are killing you through stress, through depression, through sadness, through isolation, you are going directly against how you were created. Okay? So I'm not saying that every day in life is meant to be a joy ride, right? Every day in life is not going to be like, a joy ride. But it is not meant to kill you slowly. That is not the case. You do not need another woman to come along and end your marriage. Now, I understand that you would feel like it was like, pennies from heaven, right? But you don't need it. I know you feel like you do, but you don't. You can say enough. You can go to the people around you and say, this is the decision I'm making. It's going to be really hard. You can choose to support me or not. But I will tell you this. When I was learning about my religion, when I was changing my religions, converting, whatever you want to call it, I was not married yet. I didn't even know Michael yet. And I was talking to my priest. It wasn't Father Bob at the time. It was a different priest. And I said to him, is divorce a sin? Like, if I go down to the courthouse and decide I want to get divorced, like, am I just going to burn up in flames? And he started laughing and said, honey, whatever you do at the courthouse has nothing to do with God. Now, if you choose to get your marriage annulled, we can have that conversation. Now, I didn't even know Michael. I wasn't even engaged at the time. But I just wanted to know. So a lot of times our information that we're getting isn't even correct. Getting divorced civilly has nothing to do with God. I'm just telling you, I see the point, and I got my girlfriend's point at the end, and we joke about it now, and great, I took one for the team. But I'm just telling you, you don't need another woman to help you get out of your marriage. You can do it. Remember why you were created and work towards that. I'm just letting you know that you are loved. You are special. You have something. I look at my girlfriend now, and the man she's married to, and the 3 babies that they have, and I can't even picture her with Rob. I try literally to picture the 2 of them at their wedding and what she was like in that marriage, and I legitimately cannot. Anyway, I just want y'all to think about that. Just think about it. Let's serve Wounded Warriors really quick, and then we're going to come back and say goodbye. And let me just remind you all that I am not a therapist. Coffee Talk is not therapy. For me, it is. For some of you, it might be. But it is not a substitute for therapy, okay? I am just a woman who has lived a very faulty life, who sits here every day and shares whatever she can with you. I am not a therapist. If you are hurting, if you need help, please seek a professional. I am not a professional girls. I am a train wreck most days, barely hanging on with the same ponytail in her hair for 3 days. Okay? So, if you need help, please seek professional help. There are people out there who are trained professionals to deal with whatever situation you might be going through. It is very important to me that you guys understand that Coffee Talk is checks and balances, but it is not a substitute for therapy. Michael and I went to therapy. Sometimes I go to therapy. So just know that, okay? I love you guys so much today. So much. That's why I'm here with you. I love you, and I hope that you have a great, great day.